Hi, this is Ron Martin of ronmartblog.com. Today I'm going to talk to you about Luminar 4 and I'll be running on Windows. I'm going to do a single image edit of a photo that was taken outdoors with a really awful sky condition. It's all blown out, and let's see what we can do with it. So let's go ahead and start over here, go to Portrait, and because this is going to be one where I'm going to be focusing on the face, I'm actually going to start with AI Face Enhancer first as my first edit, which will kind of do some basic face adjustments, and I'll revisit that more later, but that's just where I'm going to start. So first thing I actually want to do with this one is I want to warm up the scene, because it was actually taking a daylight. For this video, I've actually taken the raw image and kind of lightened it up a little bit, but since it was taking a golden hour, I want to get that look back. So I'm going to bring the golden hour up here to around 40 to simulate what the actual conditions were in camera. And then the foliage, I'm going to go ahead and bump up here to around 15 and just kind of make these a little greener. What that does is that's kind of pulling your eye into the foreground of the frame and making these just look a little bit more interesting. But that's subjective. You could decide not to do that. Next, thing I want to do is show you how to replace the sky, because this is one where it could really use it. So I'll come in for this image and just choose Sunset Clouds 1. And when I do that, you're going to see image processing, and it's going to come in, and oh my God, this is awful. Now it's impressive that it replaced the sky really nicely around these wisps of hair and all between these bushes, but I don't want my sky going all the way down here. And so what I need to do is I actually need to change the horizon position. So I want to push that up to around here, and I know because I've done this before, that's around 71, 72 range, so I've pushed my sky up. And I'm actually going to go ahead and come in here to advanced settings and flip the sky, because I just like when these clouds are coming from this direction a little bit better. And because the sky is a little too crisp for me, because as you notice everything else in the background's blurred out, I'm going to come in here and do a sky defocus to around 85 to try to simulate how everything else is blurred out. I want to do a horizon blend and put that up to around 181. And what that'll do if I zoomed in is it'll address a minor gap that was around the mountain here. And so I wanted to fix that. Now what I want to do is there's kind of a spot here that just begs for some sun rays. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to place the sun rays dot right here in this kind of corner area, almost off the screen. And then I'm going to kick the amount up to about 37 or 8. And then I want to take the overall look and tone it down to about 31. And I want to do some advanced settings as well. I want to do the sun warmth, that's the sun itself, and bump that up to about 63. And then the rays also, I want to warm them up. And so bring those also up to around 63. And you can tweak with these things all day long, but that's where I'm going to stop for the time being. And next thing we want to do is I want to come down here to LUTs and kind of give this a kind of a more uniform look. I also address some of the blue issues we're seeing in the sky here. And I'm going to go do Long Beach, and I'm going to dial this one back down to 20. I remember something I forgot to do. That's while I'm over here on AI Sky Replacement. Actually, I want to warm up that sky, and let's just go ahead and kick it all the way up to 100. That's going to help make it feel a little bit warm like the overall scene. So the next thing I want to do is try to bring some of these ripples back into the water. So let's come over here and let's go up to AI Structure and bring this up to about 93. 94. That brings that back, but it also makes everything else too harsh. So this is going to be a case where we actually have to do some real basic masking. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say, let's set that opacity to 100%. And let's paint in the effect. And we don't need to be too precise here. We just really want to kind of come in here and get all this area here. If you want to see what you're doing, which I like to do, is I'll sometimes just turn that on. And we'll just do a little bit here in the back. And you'll see that a little black and white mask is being created. Turn that off, say done. And now we just have it on those areas. Next thing we want to do is we want to start focusing on the portrait enhancements. So when I do that, I want to come in here, say 100, and actually just look at the face. And while we're here, you can see that the masking was done really well against the hair. Even these little tiny wisps of hair, you see them down here. That's part of the original image, and up here they remain, so they don't actually just get wiped out. Now, if you want to remove them, you can. And then all of our edits are not really destroying this image. So the next thing we want to do is go over here to the little face for portrait enhancements, and then we'll start with the AI skin enhancer, which is currently set up to around 66. That's fine. And then I'm gonna do AI skin defects removal, and that's just going to remove some little minor flaws in the skin. Come over here to portrait enhancer, and her face is a little dark, so I want to bring this one up to around 32. And that's just going to brighten it up a little bit after image processing here is done. And then I'm going to come in here and do a little eye whitening. Kick that up to about 40. Oops. And then her eyes look a little whiter here after a little image processing. So I'm not sure if you saw it, but it's a little quick change. And then teeth whiten, we're going to brighten up those teeth just a little bit up to, let's say, around 24, 25. And just maybe come in here and just do a little bit on eye enhancer. Changes are minor and subtle, but they do make a difference. And so now you'll notice that if I scroll around, you can kind of see a little digital noise in here. Let's wait for this thing to catch up with us. And so to address that, in fact, let me go ahead and go to 200%, make it a little bit easier to see some of this noise. There you go. So I'll come back here to denoise, and I'll kick my luminosity noise up to about 25 just to knock that out. And if you wonder what values I chose, it's just experimentation. I go back and forth, try, add a little bit more. For denoise, I want to have the minimal amount of noise reduction necessary to fix the image. I think because I'm recording the video, some of my real-time processing isn't showing up as well as it normally does when I'm using it real time, so my apologies for that. Next up, I'm going to actually brighten the outfit. So let's go back out to fit the screen again, say light, go in here to advance, and I'm just going to go ahead and boost the whites up to about 55. Again, it's not that I'm really great and know all these things off the top of my head. I have edited this image before, so this is me just applying some of what I know based off the previous edit. So with that, we have an image that was fairly quickly, about 10 minutes here, done. And you can kind of see the before and after. And again, some of these things are subjective, so you may say, oh, I don't like it's too yellow, or it's too blue, or it's too whatever. You're free to go and tweak these all to your heart's content. Hopefully this helps you understand how to solve some of the problems, like putting the sun where you want it, or moving the sky where it needs to be when things don't work out right, and gives you a better idea of Luminar 4. Thanks for watching.